Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to day 3 and the grand finale of Plumbex India 2023, bringing industry together. We have had 2 days of wonderful deliberations, knowledge shares, ideation, and we have been having a wonderful exhibition with 140 plus stalls on display, going hand in hand, bringing industry together. Today, the final day starts with a very interesting panel discussion, modern-day plumbing and its importance in a built environment. To moderate this panel, we have the Vice Chair, Strategic Initiatives of FSAI. Please welcome on stage Mr. Prashant Gururaj, Technical Director, Fire and Life Safety. Just a couple of lines. He's working in Measures Design Tree Service Consultants Private Limited as a Technical Director. He's exposed to work on basis of international firefighting laws, has worked in all areas of total safety and security solutions for all the types of industries. And the company Design Tree Service Consultants Private Limited was established in 2008 and has been running successfully for 15 years with more than 510 persons. Can we have a round of applause for Mr. Prashant Gururaj, please? We have eminent panelists in this panel discussion, so Mr. Gururaj will moderate the panel from the podium, but gives me immense pleasure in inviting a dear friend and a very knowledgeable architect, V. Vishwanath, who founded his organization in 1998 with his wife Vidya. He's a member of Board of Governors of BMS College of Architecture, Bangalore, and BMS School of Architecture, Yelahanka, Bangalore. He's Design Chair, Oxford School of Architecture, Bangalore, and a member of Board of Studies in Architecture for VTU from 2013 to 16. He's also the Honorary Secretary of the Institute of Interior Designers, Bangalore. Ladies and gentlemen, Architect V. Vishwanath. Our next panelist, please welcome on stage an engineer with a specialization in structural rehabilitation, Mr. K. Sriram. He's a consultant in repair and rehabilitation of structures and has undertaken several projects across the country. Managing partner of Measures Tapovan Projects, that is into apartments, villas, senior care and hospitality. A member of BAI for 36 years and has served as the chairman of the Builders Association of India, Mysore chapter, state chairman BAI Karnataka, and the founder president of the Confederation of Real Estate Developers Association of India, CRIDAI Mysore chapter. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. K. Sriram. We have our next panelist, Mr. Prasanna Venkatesh G, who works for a leading real estate developer, Measures Soba Limited, as Executive Vice President, Plumbing, Fire and Environment Department. Prior to joining Soba, he worked with Measures Adarsh Developers and Measures Precise Engineers. A civil engineer from BMS College of Engineering, Bangalore University, he's a certified PEEP instructor on plumbing system design from IAPMO India, the International Association of Plumbing and Mechanical Officials, and Green Plumbers India accredited specialist. He has more than 30 years of expertise in the field of plumbing and has completed various prestigious projects. Ladies and gentlemen, on the stage, our panelist, Mr. Prasanna Venkatesh G. Our next panelist, Mr. Chetan Joyce, a civil engineering graduate, a consulting engineer in public health engineering, fire and life safety systems, one of the directors at EPG Consultants Private Limited, currently dealing with consultancy services covering data centers, process industries, IT campuses. He has 17 plus years of industry experience, core expertise in designing of fire and life safety systems, fire alarm detection, special suppression systems, water and wastewater distributions, treatment plants, rainwater harvesting, nature and maintenance-friendly services. Currently serving as secretary at IPABC and has participated in various events of the association and IPPL and IPC. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chetan Joyce, our next panelist. We have with us Mr. Satish Kumar, who's our next panelist. Please welcome him on stage. He's the chairman of NAREDCO, National Finance Committee. He has a diploma in mechanical engineering from JSS Polytechnic. He's a first-generation serial entrepreneur with over 10 years of experience in trading, manufacturing, PVC, HDPE, and fire products with over 15 years of real estate and construction industry experience. He's employed in various management positions with Brookbond Lipton India Private Limited, Bangalore Bodybuilders, and started businesses as an aluminium fabricator and took turnkey projects for various interior jobs. He has co-founded a marketing BPO company in 2006 to market various in-house products as well as other market products which have a revenue of 25 to 30 million rupees. Ladies and gentlemen, a gentleman involved in several social organizations and with hobbies like traveling, encouraging entrepreneurship, cars, bikes, music, driving enthusiast, public speaking. Please welcome Mr. Satish Kumar M., our next panelist. And of course, our panelist coming up is Ms. Nagakrupa Srinidhi, a senior design management professional, a trained architect and interior designer with over 25 years of experience in the industry, specifically in commercial real estate. She currently holds a leadership position as Associate Director, Development Management and co-head the design portfolio at RMZ Core, a leader in commercial real estate. Alongside a number of globally renowned design partners, she has conceptualized, designed and delivered millions of square footage of large-scale commercial, residential, hospitality and mixed-use projects across India with a special focus on social design over a period of 18 years at RMZ Core. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Nagakrupa Srinidhi, our final panelist. Before we commence the program, being the last day of the Plumbex India, may I request everybody to please rise as we pay respect to our nation by having the national anthem. Thank you. Over to our moderator, Mr. Gururaj, to please take over.
Hello. Very good morning to all. Good morning to the dignitaries on the stage. And good morning, sir, for a nice introduction and calling upon all the speakers and having a good introduction of them to the whole of the audience. Audience, it took a bit late, but we have all assembled now. Okay. And as you all know, for any lunch to prepare, you need a lot of ingredients. And with all the ingredients only, the lunch becomes, or supper becomes very full and very wonderful to eat and very tasty. Like that, I have dignitaries who are working in several domains and different domains of this industry. I have an architect who is practicing architect and a renowned architect who is very renowned for his domain of working. I have from representative who is also part of government from Naradco, and I have a Builders Association person from CREDAI here, and I have from the senior contracting company Shobha also here, and I also have my friend consultant also here. So I think all the ingredients are here. I play a part of a cook, so I mix all of them and make it as a very good supper. And later on, you should tell me saying that how it tastes at the end. So starting on with the topic, what is there today for a discussion is modern day plumbing and its application into built environment. Very generic subject, very general subject. We all know anybody can talk about plumbing. So you go to a person and ask him saying that what is plumbing, what you meant about that one. He definitely says that from his household, where the pump is there, where the sump is there, how the water pumps, how the connection is been given, how the soil waste is going, and problems, henceforth of problems with regards to the municipal department handling that one and several means and several things. But is the plumbing system what is we are knowing? Definitely not. I strongly believe that the audience sitting here and the Plumbex, whole of the Plumbex makes it a difference and gives us a different dimension in understanding the plumbing as in character rather than in services to be played. So why I say character, we all know, because we have been discussing from past 2 days, and this is the third day of the session, third day of Plumbex, where we have been giving a lot of wings and feathers to plumbing as a service and making it as a character to be lived in the industry. So going with that one, I have panelists and I have set a few of the questions. Definitely it is not an IPL match where I have passed on the question to them and asked them to answer. That is there. So, and somebody said me, sir, IPL is also fixed matches, I think. So, coming to that one, I'll first go to architect Vishwanath, and obviously any program to start, we need a Kartru. Kartru means hope everybody understand, and curator to give an ideas, the ideology. So that is architect. So I come to Vishwanath sir. Vishwanath sir, obviously it is when you get pen on paper and sit with a developer or a realtor or any kind of a client, and those he gives about the land, what the land parcel, what he has, and tells what is his ambition to build there. Either it is a residential apartment or an IT commercial or whatever the development he wants to do. Then at the end of the discussion, he comes, puts you a lot of things saying that Vastu. He also tells you about, sir, my toilet should not be that side. Sir, my STP should not be on that part. Sir, you take care of rainwater storage tank. I want something in the northeast corner only. I don't want there. You tell them saying that the contour is not supporting to that one. Your piece of land is not encouraging for me to do that one. Sir, you do somehow, you do whatever you want, but I want it there. Otherwise, my property doesn't sell at all. Nobody comes to my property. So these are all the things are there. So though they are aware about the modernization and urbanization of the industry, what is happening, my question is, still you find this kind of a client who comes and say that, sir, you pin down onto you and say that, sir, you have to do like this, or creative freedom is still given to you?
Morning, Guru. We see this happening more and more nowadays. We have about 80% of the clients who want this, but I would look at it from a very different perspective. What I do is, we have accepted Vastu as one of the requirements from every client. So the basic design itself starts from Vastu, because we have a selfish motive, because the designs also get passed very quickly. So we don't really have to worry too much. We go to, nowadays it's gone to an extent where they also say that all the WCs should face north or south. So this is a requirement. See, as an architect, I'm not designing for myself. I'm not designing for my glory. Finally, it is the end user who has to be happy. An end user is somebody like, when Frank Lloyd Wright once said that, you know, my buildings had to be looked into and seen by a common man, not by the elite. So the same way, we are designing for multiple different kinds of end users. So what we have done is we have incorporated Vastu as part of our system. And once you start understanding that these are we cannot live without it, and these are part and parcel of our life, it doesn't become too hard. So this is so much part of our life today. So I don't think so we are trying to say that we are away from Vastu. So even in plumbing, I mean, today even my traps, the nani traps and all that, we make sure that is in the toilet is on the northeast side. You see, so it has been incorporated, and it is not, I don't think so it is very difficult. The problem comes only when the contour goes against it. That is the only challenge we face. But inside an apartment or inside a residential building, it's not very difficult for us to. Suppose if you have a toilet and a puja room, we construct a double wall. We make sure that there is a gap between the two walls, which also helps us because, you know, if there is a seepage tomorrow, it does not come up to the entire side of any wall. I mean, it could be a bedroom wall or any of these. So I think adapting to what the end user want is what is the job of an architect. So I think that's what we do on a day-to-day.
Very nicely, sir. I would put like that, the problem to solve has become a wishes to fulfill for you. Okay, they've had a problem, but you took it as an wishes to fulfill. There is where the architecture starts. So I need to fulfill the wish. There is where the architecture
and we also want them to be happy. I mean, after all, we design. I mean, many of them come and tell us, you are the Vastu Purusha. So it doesn't mean that as a Vastu Purusha, I go and stand next to them as a... No, I want them to be happy. I want them to genuinely feel for their building. And that makes us happy. So I think we have adapted it to our culture, and it's not very difficult.
Yeah, so for the younger students who are in the audience part of it, tomorrow they go out to the Western countries or someplace, okay, they see a different kind of an architecture there. Why? Because they are not working towards the Vastu or looking for thing to make suitable as it is required. But in Western country, we know there is no puja, toilet can be at any location. It is not be required to have toilet above toilet, or northeast, northwest, or southeast, southwest. Nobody is caring about that one. Any word of advice to them, sir?
But there's, whenever we design, we need to have toilets above toilets. Otherwise, your entire facade will be full of pipes. So how do we deal with it? So I think it's a good idea to go toilet above toilet. Yeah, at least if there is some kind of a seepage, which anyway happens after 20 years and things like that, you don't have to disturb the other rooms. But actually in the colleges, we are really not touching on Vastu because we want them to explore their mind completely. So so whenever we visit colleges, we are still not touching on Vastu because either way they will learn once they grow.
The learning starts from their house only. So,
yeah. So either way.
So this is very nice to know that the students are not been inculcated towards the Vastu part of it, at least to begin with their career. So thank you, sir. And Sriram, sir, I come to you now. So from past 2 days, we have been discussing on this subject, requirement versus necessity. Okay. When there is a requirement, perspective of the requirement changes, and prospective requirement makes you to follow certain things. When it is a necessity, the whole of the manufacturers or the whole of the domain people work towards that one to make it successful or make it fulfilled. Now the thing is the plumbing a requirement or a plumbing a necessity? The first thing. The second thing is, what is the trend in the market today? Being part of CREDI, you see the bigger picture and stand on top of that one and have a bird's eye view of all the things, what is happening in the reality sector. So what is the trend today? The trend today is people looking at a modern day plumbing as a service, what is to be accounted in the building, or they still now also care about concrete, steel, floor, marble floor, and teak wood doors, and clean upholsteries and other things, are still the people care about plumbing part of it?
Thank you, and thank you, Gurmeet and the IPA for having me on this panel here today. Well, just to make a small prelude, I wear 3 hats currently. So one is being the national leadership at CREDAI, which accounts for almost, our members account for almost 80 to 85% of the total built environment delivered in India. And then the Builders Association of India, which I'm also part of the national leadership. We have got 18,000 members, 250 chapters, again accounting for almost 60% of the infrastructure which is being done in our country. And of course, the Indian Green Building Council, being part of the executive board and also heading the Skills Council there. We're also doing a lot of work on green rating of self-developed housing for the first time. It was never there before, called NEST. So I'm looking at it from all these 3 angles. But just to start off with, we have to understand one thing very clearly is that but for in the bigger cities and the more organized developers across the country, plumbing is something which is never given that much of importance. It is still 5% of your overall estimate. That is still talk about that as 5% and maybe finally give it about 1 or 2% weightage. That is exactly where it is. Why I have to say this is, we have got 5,000 towns and cities in our country. I mean, there's a lot of development happening across all those places. I think the biggest challenge for all of us is, I mean, this is something which we are addressing at CREDAI as well, is how do we bring the bottom of the pyramid into this, into where they're going to start understanding what services are all about. It's just not about plumbing, it's about the entire gamut of services. And in that, plumbing plays a very, very important part. And this very, very important thing is the entire world is going towards net zero. CREDAI has been one of the first organizations to publicly state that all projects of members of CREDAI will be net zero by 2050, 20 years ahead of what our Prime Minister has promised. So now we have a national task force in place on how do we go net zero. And again, there, plumbing is going to be playing a very, very important part. So today, the thing is, it is a necessity. It is definitely a necessity, just not a requirement anymore. It's a very big necessity because we all have to understand, just if you look back into our past, actually civilization has gone where water has gone, water rose. Civilization has always been along where water is. Maybe Bangalore is the only mega city in the world which is not on a river. It's either on a coast, all other mega cities in the world are on the coast or are on a river. Bangalore is maybe one of the only cities, mega cities in the world which I can know, which is not on a river. So water is a very, very important aspect tomorrow. And we all know that our wastages are anywhere between 30 to 50% of water. Now, if we talk about 135 liters per day as our per capita, we are wasting almost 30 to 40% of that. So that is something we need to be addressing. We have been actually now trying to roll out a national program on this, on where we want to sensitize the bottom of the pyramid, because that's where the big action is. The next growth of India is going to be in the tier 3, 4 and those cities. And they have to start understanding what services is all about. I think that's where we can team up with IPA and really take out this mission and see to it that they get educated. And that's where I think we should all be looking at.
Very nice, sir. So ultimately, we all come to a conclusion saying that plumbing is a necessity. So something else, HVAC or air conditioning is a requirement, but plumbing is always a necessity. We start with that one, and a good thought you provoke saying that tier 2 and tier 3 cities to be more concentrated, and also 30 to 40% of the water getting wastage. And obviously Bangalore, as it is said that California of India, the software hub of India, but once again it is not having any kind of a water source for us. So next I come to Nagakrupa, Madam. It's a pleasure we have worked together also, and she has been part of a lot of projects which has been designed and curated for multinational clients also, and local entities and local requirements also. So I basically come from a builder background, you are. So as a builder, when you see the codes and standards and adaptation of that one, statutory requirements, local rules and governances, environmental board necessities and other things, versus the reality when it comes down to the actual requirement. And as I said before, you have worked always in Indian climate also and in outside also, and Indian client and then multinational client. Obviously, they would have posed you question, a multinational client would have posed you question is why so much? Or somebody would have asked why less? So both the things are there and both the faces of the coin are there. So what is your take on this one? Is our codes and standards in reality to the actual requirement or actual picture, or is it somewhere way beyond or way lesser? We want to hear from you.
Thank you, Prashant, and thank you and Prasanna for having me on this panel in the first place. Very relevant question, I can say. So, yes, I have been working with all kinds of clientele and primarily for commercial real estate. So, see, the biggest challenge of sorts that I notice straight away is it takes a good 15 years for an NBC to get updated. And 15 years in today's time is eternity, because the quantum or the change that is happening on a minute-by-minute basis in this world, which COVID-19 is the example that we can quote straight away, what the world turned topsy-turvy. We take 15 years to change our norms, we are getting nowhere. We want to get on the path to developed country, we better do it in a fast-track manner. I think this is absolutely essential, that the governance, the laws and everything tie in with the industry practice, industry necessity today and industry feedback. I think that loop is missing completely. The feedback loop from the industry back into the norms and the norm makers or the governance bodies is something that is sadly missing, because let me quote a few examples that I face on a day-to-day basis. Today, we are all talking about gender-neutral toilets, right? However, we are all designing basis NBC, where we have been asked to define a male-female ratio of 60s to 40, assuming even today that 40% is the only female capacity. Today, if you come to my office, there are more women than men. Okay, so on what basis are you, first of all, determining this 60-40? And secondly, why are you, again, like if most of my clients are asking me, I want gender neutral toilets. I do not want male, female, etc. to be marked. Now, how do I cater to their requirements? Because I'm stuck or I'm pulled back by these governing rules. So I say that, sorry, I'm designing as per the NBC. I am stuck. So this is one place where I notice it away. Secondly, I think there's an issue with the mic. Okay, so basically, so that is one which I can quote right away. And the second one being the quantum of liter per person that you are asked to set aside, the 45 liters per person capacity that you set aside. In that you have 25 liters as domestic and 20 liters as reused water, right? This 25 liters of domestic water that you are asked to set aside, what are you using it for today? Come to think of it, in any of our offices, we are buying out water. All of us have these big, large cans come, which sitting there in your water cooler, and that's what you're consuming. Water, and you have grey water, you have flushing and landscaping needs are taken care of by your recycled water. Even your top-up for HVAC also. What are you using this clean water for? Only for wash basin to wash your hands? Do you need 25 liters per person for this? Isn't it overrated highly? Do I have the flexibility today to design less? No. I'm supposed to design, over-design, and then still do a zero water balance for the Ministry of Environment and Finance, and Forestry, and say that I am well within the cycle. So the very first R of sustainability is lost. The very first R of sustainability is reduce. Okay, are we able to reduce? No. I have to over-design and then try to utilize and manage and make sure that I'm still sustainable, I'm still meeting all the checklists that is determined within any governing body. Thirdly, we have developments in Maharashtra at the moment, and the challenge that I am facing, we all know what density Mumbai is designed for, what is it's working at. There is a simple requirement from the MOF committee in Mumbai where you have to give 40% of your STP plant room open to sky. I mean, today I'm struggling for a green patch in Mumbai where I can, breathe. And you are expecting me to give open to sky STPs when the technology is far ahead. You are going all the way to create biogas from your STP, which you can reuse. And today we are talking ancient technology of, aerating your STP tank. So where is the change in the norms? Where is the change in the governance? Where is the feedback from the industry going back into these? Who is, like we're going to speak, how are we connecting back to the government and telling them, including colleges, does the industry knowledge really percolate into the colleges? What are they studying? Because for sure, when I studied, I don't think I knew what the industry was doing at all. I studied something, I came here and studied all over again. I had to unlearn whatever I learned in a certain way. So I think, yes, we have a lot to learn. And also for the toilet number designed within any offices. See, this is not like a convention hall, movie theater, where you have an interval and everyone rushes into the toilet at the same time. So the quantum of toilets that are designed within our office spaces are enormous. It's not like everyone is running at the same time to use the toilet. You're using it whenever on a need-to basis. So I think a certain flexibility. See, this is almost similar to a residence. So you're not governing me how many toilets to have in my residence or an apartment. That's my choice, right? Why is that choice not offered to an office development? Within my office, I decide how many people and how many toilets. That is up to me. I mean, I don't think the government needs to decide how many toilets I need to have in my toilet, in my office. So these are a little small tweaks and flexibilities which will actually help us move more towards our climate goals, our sustainability goals. Today, like he said, ESG being the biggest thing that is going on. All of us are struggling to meet this demand, and any amount of support from all governing bodies will definitely be an impetus towards this.
Definitely, madam. And governance is required for whatever the way you say, because if I don't have the police at the end of the signal, I don't follow the one-way rule also, or I don't follow any traffic signals also, it will be jump. So that's the way. If there is no governance, RMZ with a cautious, you take and you provide number of toilets. Some other builder or a B grade or C grade, he says 2 toilets are sufficient for how many people, whatever it is. So some place the governance is required. But your point was very valid, saying that still age-old methods are adopted by some of the statutories, and insisting that one to be followed, and saying that 40% of STP to be open, it has to be external aeration system only. When we are, as you said, MBRs and a lot of technologies have come in. You use biogas, generate biogas from that one and utilize for some other purpose. But still age-old systems are there. And over and above, they ask you to take more water, but show you net zero out of that one. And, environmental. Yeah. So there is a new net zero code coming, and it will be helpful what Mr. Sriram says. But that has to be empaneled with everybody, sir. Means, yes, yeah, I know that one. But once again, that ESBC, now what is that sustainability is also been coming into that fellows, and also the local state pollution control board should also be adopting that one. Else what happens, the MOEF says something and this fellow still follows the thing. Thank you, madam. Thank you for the complete insight on the subject there. Satish sir, so my question to you. Now, Satish sir from National Real Estate Development Corporation, obviously when he looks at his role, what he is playing, he's like an ombudsman, sir. He's like an ombudsman between general public and the government. So any problem and any the questions the general public has, raise it to him, he can take it to the government. So in that way, The thing is modern day plumbing, sir. In a modern day plumbing, whether the government entities, when they do an multi-layer projects or big projects of government, lot of LIG housings are being constructed, almost 2 crores what we learned from you. So is that they start the inculcation from there, saying that modern day plumbing, application of the right plumbing system there, utilization of the plumbing system there, and reuse of wastewater there, and so much and so on. And as such, as a private body, somebody else will say that if government is not following, why you are asking the private body to adopt that one? Can you intimidate the government, saying that government, you are not doing, I am the person, I am being asked by the general public saying that what government is doing, if they are not doing, why should I do? So will you follow that one or not? Is it any chances for you to be intimidate the government is what asking.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Prasad there. So first of all, I'm representing the real estate sector, and real estate sector comes from various tiers, both big, medium and small builders, as well as tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So if you just categorize the different things, so what happens, we are in a kind of logic versus practice kind of situation. The logic says something, but the practice has been completely different. Now the policy is stuck between that. Now what should the government do? In fact, that we should actually derive it from associations like ours here. The IP has been doing extremely wonderful job, IGBC is doing it, and CREDI, BI, all my senior colleagues are doing it. I'm sure Architects Association is also working on the same. Now all these industry bodies are giving their opinion and their representation to the government. And everything boils down to maybe NBCC and other players. And NAREDCO, the vision of NAREDCO was to address all these real estate-based issues. It is not only about basic real estate development, it is also about the complete sector as such, the industry as such. So NBC is a part of our industry. So whenever we are going to the government, we cannot go to the government and act like an activist and shout at them for asking for something. In our case, what is happening is they are also part of our organization and we are also part of their organization. And the UD ministry is our chief patron. So what we can do is we can have a complete dialogue, clear-cut dialogue with them. And that dialogue actually eases out many things. In fact, successfully, RERA was implemented and some of the other things. See, government also needs proper feedback. And we should appreciate this government for having implemented so very proactive organizations. Coming back to your question, the government is not following certain policies. And why are you insisting on the private players to adopt modern plumbing and modern technologies and all? See, it is a push and pull mechanism that we are working on. What is the push? Today, if you are seeing in all the startup environment, it is not the government that does all the startup technologies. The new technologies has always been from the industry. And there is going to be a resistance. There is going to be slow in the policy level implementation. The modern big industries are all doing it. For example, we have two of the senior players here, Shobha and RMZ. They are all adopting modern technologies. The policy actually helps for adopting in the medium and smaller sectors, and the policy helps in the tier 2, tier 3 cities. So that, as you said, if you allow the smaller builders to decide things for themselves, they will put much lesser utilities than whatever is required. So Madam was telling about having the deciding capacities. So when there is surplus, they will decide for the optimum. But when there is the lack of whatever the practice makes, I will give you a very small example, a very trivial example. A 3-seater of bus, public bus, is 42 inches. My shoulder is 22 inches. So how can 3 people accommodate in a 42 inch? It is 44 inches. We cannot. But it has been the practice. They are going around. They are moving around in the buses for ages. Logically speaking, it cannot happen. But they are doing it. We cannot say that it will not happen. So keeping those things in mind, the policy, whenever is required, it has to be a little of push from the industry, and of course the government will take a delayed action. We should impress upon them, proactively to implement not for today's problems, for the futuristic problems. I think all the industries put together, if we can voice out together, we'll be able to impress the government to do certain. All the smart city projects, all these other initiatives, whatever we are having, those initiatives are all towards that only. We can impress upon all the policymakers to do that, but we need a closely working environment for that. I think we can make that platform available. Recently, we had our finance conclave, and that finance conclave where we brought in the industry versus the finance industry. 303 finance companies participated there. The finance secretary was there. So we can create such platforms, work with the UD ministry, and they are very, very open to our ideas. We can have a platform there.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Definitely, yesterday also definitely we can resonate on this idea, because yesterday also there was an honorable guest and honorable IAS officer, Madam Tara. She was also mentioning the same thing, saying that you join hands with us and we can make the difference. And we want you to be actively participating with us and give the bullet points, or give the points which has to be inculcated or improvised in the codes or standards, or get also to be printed in the printed media. So therewise, you are also saying the same thing. So definitely IPA chapter will definitely work towards that one, and come to you with how do we jointly go to the government or the union ministry and say what it is. Prasanna sir, okay, so I have heard you, I have seen, and I know the statistics what you hold in your hands, definitely, and there is a lot we all learn from Prasanna sir with regards to the statistics what he has and what he holds in his hand. Sir, modern day plumbing, how it's going to affect or make any change in the rural application part of it? Because we all sit in an AC chamber or in a city like metro city like Bangalore or Mumbai or Chennai, and talk about plumbing, adaptation of modern day technologies into that one. When you go to rural areas, is there any kind of an adaptation of this one? The first thing. And the second thing is, how do we can take modern day plumbing to the household, regular households?
Thanks, Prashant. I know the basic requirement of water is not available. No, by 2017, I think 16.5% of rural, complete India had a tapped water connection. Okay, this was the scenario, and in fact, the number of people who were dying because of waterborne diseases were about 1.4 million. About 73 million man days labor loss is there even today, for that matter, because of these waterborne diseases. And economic loss because of this, $600 million, which amounts to about 15 to 18% of our GDP. Okay, so I think Government of India is addressing this issue. From 2017 to 23, there is a significant increase in because of the Jal Jeevan Mission, whatever initiative they have taken, that 16.5% has increased to today 61%. 61% household has tapped water connection today, which they have a bigger goal of completing 100% by 2024, by next year. That is one part, that is on providing piped water connection. But what about water source? Is there a source for all this pipe? Will the pipe go dry? That is a bigger question, which local communities should work together, see how they can develop their lakes, ponds, water bodies, have a treatment which is safer for them to use for drinking. Okay, this is another activity which government is also helping, and set up laboratories in all the panchayats, village panchayats, gram panchayats, urban and rural areas, districts and everywhere, so that it can periodically check the water quality, because the death rate is very high. In fact, the water quality index says India is at 120th position out of 122 countries, which is declaring.
We
So
are
it
three
is a
from
very
last.
bad situation today.
Your last three.
We are last three, correct. So significant improvement should be done on water quality. 70% of water which is being supplied to India is contaminated. So even in Bangalore for that matter, we get contaminated water. It could be contamination due to heavy metals, whatever chemicals, microbiological contamination, everything. We get contamination, contaminated water. In fact, I was talking to BOP, he was telling there are about 800 startups which have started only from Bangalore, which is a good sign in plumbing industry. In plumbing industry. So this is an opportunity for the industry also to see how we can utilize this. How? So there are IoT-based sensors for water measurement. Smart water meters are available. Can we start implementing this everywhere? Water quality monitoring systems are available. I think Srinath Iyengar was mentioning that 10,000 rupees, one person will give complete water quality monitoring. We can use it for our house. Why not? Go for it. So technologies are coming up. We have to utilize this. Instead of waiting for lab report which comes only after 2 days, 3 days, whatever basic parameters we should know immediately. Yeah, it is going beyond this, then send it to laboratory, get it tested, kind of thing. This is about the rural scenario. Of course, there is other story of how to handle the wastewater. Grey water treatment can be done. Can that be utilized for agriculture? Because India's maximum water consumption is for agriculture. Can we look at, metering that? Okay, it is a political decision whether we can charge or not. At least can we meter that? No, how much is being consumed there? Can we supplement that with grey water, treated grey water? All these things need to be thought of. This is on the rural front. Coming back to household, your question, second question, household definitely modern plumbing can be adopted. Beyond this pipes and fixtures, there are water saving devices which can be used, treatment facilities which can be used. As I said, the smart water meters, which is an important development where they will know what is the consumption every day. And they will also know if there is any leakage. Mr. Sriram was mentioning 30 to 40% water wastage in Bangalore. We are talking about. So technology is available. We have to utilize the technology and see how we can reduce so that is available for somebody else who is deprived of it. 135 liters, what we talk about NBC, Bangalore is not getting 138 liters, 35 liters. They are supplying only 108 liters. The requirement is 2100 MLD, whereas 1450 only they are able to supply, and there is a wastage again. So lot need to be done on this. Definitely we have to utilize the technology in terms of treatment, in terms of metering, in terms of leakage detection, many things which we can adopt. Also water saving devices we can see, and also see we can have different treatment for different purposes and treat whatever is required for drinking to that standard and different for different standards so that wastages are reduced and reuse the backwash water for some other purpose so that we can move towards net zero. The bigger target of 2050 is actually very,
A very long period.
very long, but we have to start acting from now.
Thank you, sir. So much of statistics, as I said, the statistics man he is. So he has a lot of statistics, and with the statistics only, the goal can be achieved. That is the first believing. And rural part, yes, there are so much of things to be done, and so much of things is already done. Improvisation from 2017 to now, at least 10% of improvisation is in a big thing, actually. And household application, yes, definitely, sir. The people know what is there in Geo network, what is there in their mobile, and what is there in their everything. But what is the quality of water, nobody knows in their household.
Just I want to add one more point. Use the technology. Okay, many organized builders are there. They are constructing it. We need to adopt the technology like, can we do hydrogeology test before starting the project? Can we do surface hydrology test? Because Bangalore is facing flooding issue. This can be addressed with technology. Can we do this kind of studies? Can we foresee, yeah, there is flooding which is going to happen over here. There is a groundwater table which is rising because of unscientific rainwater harvesting, which is also there. Let us accept. MOF says you have to do so many recharge pits. Left, right, and center, we go and do recharge pits. Someone downstream come and does an apartment there. His basement floods. We don't know what is the reason. So it is being done unscientifically because some code says So this is the national standard. It can't be national standards. We need, in fact, I was talking to Mr. Gurmeet also on net zero. It can't be one national standard. It need to be regional. It need to be state-wise, district-wise, based on the rainfall intensity. So technology is the only solution for having a better plumbing.
Yeah, definitely, sir. We all believe this one and we accept that one. We second that. I cannot ask in Chirapunji to do a net zero. Where do I go further in Chirapunji to make it a net zero? So household applications, and we should all learn from that, saying that hardly it costs around 10,000 bucks to have a smart application and make sure what we are done. And yesterday's program also, IAS officer Tara was telling, why not use the what is that, washing machine water to flush the EWCs. So once you put for washing machine, so much of gallons of water has been going there. Why don't you use it for flushing purpose and other things? So much to think and so much to learn from that one. So at last, my friend Chetan, you have heard all, okay, and as a consultant, you come at the last to the project. So consultant's duty is to amalgamate all the requirements, listen to all the requirements, derive at a solution, adopting all the requirements what has been told. Now, my question to you is, what would be your design program to suit all these requirements?
Great. Thanks for the question, Sanjeev. So I'll start from the architect opinion first. So if you ask us now, we have technologies, we have systems which can match any such requirements which are posted by fellow architects in the industry. So there are many requirements. If you ask me, an end client of mine asked me that if this is the shortest path of drainage, which is helping my contour and everything, but still he asked me, as per Vastu, you're supposed to take it to the other way. Your flow direction cannot be this. So these are being requests which are being posted to us, but we have technologies like sewage pumping systems. We have technologies where even a single WC can pump its sewage to an outdoor trench or outdoor drainage system. So we have technologies in place. There were systems where people asked us, can we have odor-free terraces? Because of late we are using different methodologies not to vent out a bad odor into our terraces, because terraces are being used for a good cause nowadays. So we are getting ourselves equipped with new things and new stuff. And in terms of spaces, because space being a big constraint, especially in cities like Bangalore, we are facing a lot of challenges with respect to spaces. But we need spaces in terms of accessing and maintaining systems. So we are trying to balance these two with different methodologies. We used to follow dual stack system most of the time, but of late we are getting into single stack system. We have stopped using two traps in a bathroom now. Many of our developments have come up with single trap systems, so which will save a lot of piping and other fittings getting into the projects, spaces which are required. So a development is going on in that fashion. We have kind of removed anti-siphon pipes in many of our projects now, be it a high-rise facility or so. We have removed them already, and with the invent of pressure relief valves and pressure reducing valves and stuff, number of pipings which were supposed to come down from a terrace or which are supposed to go from a hydropneumatic system, a good amount of reduction has happened in those areas already. My next response is to Sriram sir on the it's about the development sector, whether water is or a plumbing is a necessity. Totally, I agree, plumbing is a necessity. So we basically start with an idea of giving justice to water first. So let's do justice to water through our designs. That is what we're supposed to follow. So water is respected, across ages. So it is not that we have started something new. We have forgotten it over a period of time, but let's pick that up again. Let's start respecting it. Let's put a pedal on that. Let's start respecting it more and use it judiciously. So in terms of necessity, see, 135 liters we had been discussing, or 45 liters we are discussing, and Madam was also highlighting about the demand which we are considering. NBC still says 10 square meter per person on a regular commercial space. But as of now, what I'm seeing, it is at 5 to 6. So though I'm giving 45 liters, it is not actually 45 liters. It is much lesser than that because my occupancy is much higher than that. So in a way, it is getting balanced, but I totally agree. For 25 liter for a domestic application is not a necessity. With the invent of a lot of these low flow fixtures and the comfort which we are adding either through aerators or good fixtures, it is not necessary. So we are in the process of negotiating these things and trying to change them. So UIPC or many other codes, we had launched UIPC also recently. So we are trying to implement this. We are giving our feedback. Many fellow consultants or many fellow contractors have given this feedback to us. Many, especially builders, are giving us this feedback. So we are taking it back to the codes. So this will improve shortly. I mean, we have codes which took 10 years to upgrade, but now we have codes which are taking only 3 years to upgrade. So we have, this is a time where things are getting in a different shape. In terms of implementation of codes, if you ask me, consultants are still practicing, but the implementation is not to the core or not to 100%. And there's also a question in terms of educating the youth. I think sir was talking about reaching the bottom of the pyramid. We as consultants, many of my contractor friends, we are doing education. We are visiting education facilities, we are training them. In fact, myself, I've conducted almost 10 seminars last year. It's a full day seminar just to tell them plumbing is a huge thing. It's not just, somebody uses a simple pipe to drain a commode or a wash basin or something else. So plumbing needs to be looked holistically, respected holistically. So we are trying to do that, but yes, it is not to the 100%. So we need, probably we might take more time, but we need more support from the industries so that we can do this kind of education. And I think we have already signed MOU with AICTE, VTU, where we are trying to incorporate this as a topic or a subject. It's no more an elective, it is going to be a subject which is be implemented shortly. So that will help in a big way. Because many staff whom we hire from colleges, they are new, they're zero on plumbing. In fact, I was zero when I got into development. Prasanna sir remembers my first days because he is my mentor. I joined him first. So we know plumbing is never taught in college, but plumbing is more a common sense. So if we apply common sense plus engineering, it can make wonders. I think that's my submission on this.
Good, yeah. First thing to be noted is consultant has answer for everything. He started by iterating all the people and he has the answer from the question itself. Very nicely articulated, Chetan. He can design to the requirement, you can design to the necessity, and you can do all as per requirement based on the engineering practices what you follow. That is the ultimate thing on the part of it. Definitely plumbing is not taught in college. There is no subject at all. We are also doing the same thing, teaching plumbing, teaching fire life safety, teaching so much of things. Electrical is a subject there. Ventilation and air conditioning is also a subject there. But unfortunately, with other two services are lacking behind on that one. Gentlemen, we heard the panelists, August panelists here. Everybody has their own opinion and their own way of putting forth the requirement and the necessity of utilizing plumbing and modernizing the plumbing, application of modern plumbing to the built environment. Now, I open the audience. I request the audience if they have any kind of a question. So, mic there. If any question you want to pose on to the panelists, definitely they will be willing to give you a response. Sir, otherwise, we have any other thoughts to exchange from our side? Yes, Mr.
I wanted to share one important thing. While we are talking about the policy level representation, see, we are coming out with something called as the social infrastructure demand. See, we cannot build glass houses with unruly neighbors around. So the social infrastructure is the kind of primary requisite. And when we are designing the social infrastructure, which is beyond the jurisdiction of each and every developer, see, we will have the jurisdiction of that particular project, that particular area. But over and above that, it is the government's jurisdiction. So the entire environment is mostly important. So I would request your, whatever the representation, that net zero when you're talking, it limits to the building itself, not beyond the building. Now for any kind of designing, that also has to be part of this representation. I think Gurmiji, last time we spoke on that. So if you can include that also as part of your requirement, and I also request all the architect and the builders, everybody to include the requirement of the social infrastructure in their representation whenever we are doing it. It is most important, but most of the time we don't talk about it. We cannot, because we limit ourselves that our jurisdiction is not there. But when we are asking the government, say for example, if we are able to get potable water from the government pipe, why will we be digging so many borewells? Why will we be buying water which is not which is contaminated? And see, so that can come from the government, and the stormwater drain or the sewer drain or whatever. So that all can come from the government, which is much cheaper and much effective also. And that is not something we are considering it very seriously, because most of the time it becomes a bigger pie to have on our side. We might not be able to take it, but during these representations, I think we should include that.
Very well, sir. Very well said, sir. Because unless public and government join hands together, it cannot be a fruitful program at the end of the day. Very well said, sir. We definitely would love to be part of that one.
Yeah, two very quick things. One is when we are talking about net zero, and it looks like a big mountain to climb immediately when you tell anybody about this. That's what when we share. I think from IGBC very smartly they've broken the whole thing down into net zero water, net zero energy, and net zero waste, and then of course net zero carbon. So I think this is something, an approach which you should really be taking on, because then the whole thing becomes more achievable, because you can take baby steps at a time, because then you can get to there by at least 2070. This is something we all need to be working on, where we can actually break the whole thing down. And I think a very, very important aspect, and something which we are looking at pan-India as an industry, is metering of water in apartments. This is something, for an individual apartment, this is something which technology is available in this thing, but we are looking at it to come at scale and at a much better costing. This is something where we can again work very closely with IPA and how we can take this ahead, and with certain standards and practices on this.
Yeah, most of the builders, I hope Shobha, and where we are also working, bottom of the pyramid, definitely, sir. And most of the developers now talking about metering the water, at least not to charge, at least to make a deterrent to the people to not to splurge around or waste. So that is what they are trying. Vishwanath, sir, you want anything?
I would go away from this net zero and all this. I think IPA and Architects Association should concentrate on trying to get better fees. You know, where the hell are we talking about net zero, man? I mean, I am not able to fill my own stomach. We can't get the best. Nowadays in architecture colleges, we are seeing dwindling of students. Why? Why are we not able to get another Prasanna? Why are we not able to get another Guru? Why? Because people do not get paid. 1 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಅವಮಾನ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಕೇಳಕ್ಕೆ. I think the point here is, somewhere along the line, all of us have to fight with the developers. We have to fight with the corporates, and say that, you know, go to hell with your net zero, man. Make me happy. Make the environment happy. Make the engineer. Every other engineer today wants to migrate to IT. Then what happens to plumbing? What happens to architecture? Is it that we have, if you look at the statistics of the number of architects as against the number of the population, what we have is miserable. What are we talking about going to the bottom of the pyramid and going to the rural areas? Nobody even, ನಾನು ಮೇಸ್ತ್ರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಸರ್, ಆರ್ಕಿಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಬೇಕಂತಾನೆ. So I think the point here is, I think we should fight hard with starting with the government, with the COA. I am open, like Habib was there, somebody like him, we can work with it and ensure that that 1 rupee should be removed here. That 2 rupees per square feet, 1.5, even if I ask my consultants, guys, quote more. They're not, because you get a quotation from a plumbing consultant in 10 minutes. Because they're so used to that 1.5 rupees a square feet. So I think that is where I think if we have to improve the plumbing standards, we should get more engineers in civil. We need to get more architects. If we have to get more architects, we need to get paid more.
Definitely,
I think
sir.
this is what the conference should look at. It's okay, net zero, done. Yeah, but I think this is what we should look at. And like Nagashri was saying, when the foreign architects come, they demand we pay. So why not we demand? Why not we pay? What is it? I understand. I mean, I was just telling her that RMZ is one of the best buildings I really appreciate is the one in Alsur Road. You know, it gives me a pleasure. I drive there many a time just to see that building. I've been there so many times. Why do I go? It gives me a pleasure. So why don't you pay the architect more? Why don't you? The plumbing consultant are the least paid. And I want more people in the plumbing industry because we struggle every single day. And why are we losing people to the IT industry? So let's do this together, Prasanna.
Applause to you, sir. And आपने तो हमारा मुंह का बात छीन लिया. It is very good saying that everybody wants that.
Very well said, because I have lost many of my classmates to the IT industry. So I'm one of the surviving practicing
architect to IT.
Yes, because they studied architecture and they promptly moved into Microsoft and Google and everything. It's yes.
They call themselves architect.
Google architect.
Google.
So I mean, it's very true what he's saying, and this is the sad state of.
Sad. Definitely, I'll ask the audience to pose questions. It was a healthy conversation.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is GK Arora. We are working for sanitation, particularly for fecal sludge. I want to show a picture of village where we supposed to plumbing. I think we heard about year 2024, water to every home. But I should think only, we can get only single tap connection. Where is plumbing? There is no use of plumbing.
Means single tap connection for that village.
Only for village home. So there is no plumbing. So 80% population reside in our villages. So there is no mean of plumbing. Next, my important point. When we think about the sanitation, when we think about the toilet, they have only single tap connection. Power is not available. How will they lift the water to their overhead tank over their toilet? So they are using only one dibba, one container, go to washroom. How much water they could use after the flushing, means for flushing? Not so much, 1 liter or 1.5 meter, maximum 2 liter. That may not serve the purpose that extractor should be moved out in our septic tank. Because we feel that situation when we extract the fecal sludge from the septic tank, that could not be removed out properly because water is not there. And next, pathic situation is there, sludge deposited in bottom after 1 year. It's again very difficult way to remove out. No anaerobic process started there because some of water, some of liquid phase required there. So whatsoever the plumbing we discuss in this conference hall, we discuss for cities, but when should we plan for the villages? That's the major point. Thank you, sir.
Definitely. Village has its own apathy, that is for there. Not only in particular with regards to plumbing or whatever you are saying. In every aspect, village, there are apathy in that one. But the good part, what Prasanna sir mentioned is, so much improvisation has happened, okay? So we are in 2023, so much of improvisation has happened from 17.
How can we suppose, without single tap,
Sir,
after single tap connection,
correct.
No bathroom connection, no their toilet connection, no their kitchen connection. Earlier, how they use the water, that was very pathic condition, they got the water from hand pump. Nearby the hand pump, that wet area is there, means all the pathogens goes in water, and they use only surface water, not groundwater.
With due regard, sir, that is a different topic to be
absolutely,
discussed.
But plumbing may not be supposed to villages. My point is only
Yes,
there.
yes, different topic to be elaborately discussed, but not in this forum on the problems of village. Any other questions, sir?
Good afternoon to one and all. I'm P.S. Reddy from Hyderabad. I'm a contractor, plumbing contractor. The question is regarding the leakages. We find two kinds of leakages what we see. One is the community pipe transportation leakages, which we have all addressed that it is ranging from 20% to 40%, and the corrections mode is what is required, that the technologies available are in the way, processed. Now the second kind of leakages what I'm talking about is the domestic internal leakages. That leakages which is damaging the interior decoration much, and it is giving a lot of pains to the owners, who are spending so much of money and all that. No, that address is very, that is not being addressed in a very big way, because that is really the paining the end users or the real owners, right? In what way, we can address, can the platform give me any kind of the ideas on this sort of a thing to address on it? Thank you.
Sir,
by way of measurement or by way of prevention of it, by way of...
Prasanna, sir, you
the
can
present
take
way
the
is only we are correcting it. After once the problem arises, we are correcting it.
Yeah, you have the
Thank
response
you.
from Mr. Prasanna.
Yeah, as I mentioned, this smart water meter is a water meter which measures water, which sends information to your mobile, which is an app-based water meter, on a day-to-day basis, what is your consumption. It also does one more job, that if there is a 24/7 consumption of water, it indicates you, it alerts you. Because nobody uses water 24/7, correct? It alerts you. That means there is some kind of a leakage in your house. You need to go and check in your apartment. You need to go and check. There are cameras available, which is ultrasound cameras, which can detect leakage inside. Now there are many manufacturers. Earlier we had to import it. Now it is, I think, manufactured even in India now. Maybe some of the stalls may be here. I don't know. I'm not sure. I have to go and see. Which can detect, which is the exact location where these leakages are there. Because earlier there was a restriction that, if the depth of the pipe is less than 600 only, you'll be able to detect the leakages. Now it has gone up to 6 meters. Even there is a leakage below 6 meters, they'll be able to identify even below ground. The technology is available. We should know how to adapt the technology.
Oh, is the design consultants taking this into part, in their designing?
Definitely, sir. It has been part of the consultancy and application part of it. Only it is where it is getting into applied is the question. Maybe developer fraternity has to once again think about this one and do it, or they may leave it to the end users application. Thank you all gentlemen, and for being part of this discussion. And thank you panelists, wonderful panelists I had, and sorry for posing you questions and making you, if it is uncomfortable, sorry. And we conclude this panel discussion. Over to IPA now. Yeah.
Thank you very much to our moderator and panelists. Can we have a round of applause, please, for our moderator and panelists? And we request you to please remain there, because IPA has started a very nice initiative and tradition a few months ago, and that is the Plum Talk video. The Plum Talk video releases a video every month, and there are plumbing experts who actually video record a chapter from AGGPP, that is a guide to good plumbing practices, which is an IPA publication. So from Jan to April, 3 videos have already been released. We would like to release the 4th video today. And to do the honors, may I please invite on stage the National President of the Indian Plumbing Association, Mr. Gurmeet Singh Arora, who's going to tell us a bit more about the Plum Talk and also guide our guests there to release. Please be there to release and felicitate the plumbing experts who have brought out these video capsules. Over to you, sir.
Sorry, I'm trespassing. Basically, as many of you know, plumbing has now become a very complex trade especially with depletion of water supply. Our country, as you know, has 17.86% of the world's population, only 4% of its fresh water. If you look at our neighboring country, Singapore, they reclaim 80% water. I do not know how many architects know, but a plumbing engineer is called a public health engineer, PHE. And as my friend Prasanna Venkatesh said, that 70% of the communicable disease is transmitted through bad quality of plumbing. Even in this modern day, we lose 3,000 children to diarrhea every day. Every day, 3,000 children die just from one waterborne disease called diarrhea. There are cholera, typhoid, so many diseases which are transmitted through bad quality of water. And because water is depleting, even though municipality gives us 135 liters per capita per day, we overuse water and we get tanker water. In fact, none of you can see my hair, but even my hairline is receding because of the tanker water which comes. I will become like Prasanna Venkatesh one day. Sorry, Prasanna, but anyway. So, to educate and disseminate knowledge on plumbing, IPA, in fact, Mr. C.S. Gupta, my National Vice President, conceptualized this to teach plumbing. And today, you know, social media has become so big, things move very fast on the WhatsApp groups. So this is the fourth in a series which we are going to show you a glimpse of. But before we do that, I would like to invite Mr. C.S. Gupta, who has conceptualized this, on stage and give him a small memento. May I request Architect Vishwanath to honor him with a small memento, sir. I'm sorry, you can stay there, he'll come there. I would also request Shri Ram to kindly honor Mr. Subhash Deshpande. His first Plum Talk series is on plumbing terminologies. Where are you, Subhash? I think he has a flight to catch. May I also invite on stage, Minesh Shah is not there. The second was on basic planning for plumbing. And Mr. Mukesh Asija, are you here? Mukesh ji? His Plum Talk was on soil waste and drainage. I would request Sri Ram, my friend.
Can we please applaud these people who are responsible for bringing out this wonderful Plum Talk?
From Mysuru, thank you for being also with us today. And last but not the least, Mr. B.O. Prasanna Kumar, whose Plum Talk series, we are going to show the fourth one, Introduction to Plumbing. Come, I would request Prasanna to honor Prasanna. Prasanna Venkatesh to honor B.O. Prasanna Kumar. Thank you very much. Let's see the Plum Talk series 4. Just a glimpse we'll show you for 5 minutes.
So all eyes on the screen. Actually, can we recognize our panelists and they can step down so we can have... Okay, so just a second. May we request the following gentlemen to come up and recognize our moderator and panelists and felicitate them. So then they can step down and we can play the video. So may I please invite Mr. Satish Iyengar, EC member from the Bengaluru chapter, to please come up and present a memento to our moderator, Mr. Prashant Gururaj. Thank you for moderating it beautifully and in a very unique style, sir. I must appreciate.
Hope the food is good. So I asked you saying that I'm going to prepare the food. Hope it is good to all.
So he cooked all the ingredients into, you know, a special recipe, and he has presented a wonderful dish here at IPA.
But Prashant, we have elevated you from cook to chef.
So head chef. And I think the tadka was especially very tasty. May I now please request Mr. Remy Koipuram, Chair of the IPA Trivandrum chapter, to please come up and felicitate Architect V. Vishwanath, our panelist. A big round of applause to Vishu. I invite Mr. Balakrishna Mehta, NEC from IPA Bengaluru chapter, to please come up and present a felicitation to Mr. K. Sriram. Our panelist and National Executive Committee member of CRIDAI. I invite Mr. Ashok Joshi, Chair of the IPA Goa chapter, to please come up and present a felicitation to Mr. Prasanna Venkatesh, Executive Vice President of Soba Limited. From one Joshi to another Joshi, may I invite Mr. Kiran Joshi, Chair of IPA Kolhapur chapter, to please present a memento to Mr. Chetan Joyce. Do we have Mr. Kiran Joshi? Okay, I think he's left. Ashokji, will you do the honors again? Since you're already there. So since it was a Joshi, it remains with the Joshi. May I please invite Mr. Manish Thakuria, NEC member from the IPA Jaipur chapter, to please come up and present a memento to Mr. Satish Kumar. Our panelists and the chair of NAREDCO Karnataka. And Mr. Guru Prasad Mantravadi, NEC from IPA Goa chapter, to please come up and present a memento to Ms. Nagakrupa Srinidhi, Associate Director, RMZ Corp. Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable contribution. Thank you, moderator and panelists, for the wonderful panel discussion. They will come down and occupy their seats, and we will watch the Plum Talk video episode 4, the April release of Plum Talk, and our plumbing expert, Mr. B.O. Prasanna Kumar, the presenter in this video. After this, we have the stall awards and the recognition of the committee. And that would be the valedictory of Plumbex India 2023. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. May we have the Plum Talk video played, please.
In-town plumbing fixtures embraces not only wash basin and also toilet, but also such a device as washing machine, geyser, dishwasher, drinking water pumpers. As you may be aware, water is supplied to a house or a building can be done either by gravity distribution through overhead water tank or by pressurized water distribution through hydromatic pumps, as illustrated in the picture shown. These water distribution pipes and materials used in plumbing system must be strong, non-corrosive and durable enough to equal or exceed the expected life of the building in which they are installed. Generally, the pipes made up of galvanized iron or plastic pipes like CPVC, UPVC, polybutylene, PEX or copper, stainless steel or other non-toxic materials. Similarly, the waste water from kitchen and washroom is drained out with the help of sanitary pipes. The common terminology used in the industry for spent water.
Can we have a round of applause for episode 4 of Plum Talks? Thank you, Mr. B.O. Prasanna Kumar. We will now move on to presenting the stall awards. For this, may I please invite on stage the National Executive Board, members of the NEB, led by our President and, of course, National Vice President, to please come up. And to join the NEB, may I also invite Mr. B.O. Prasanna Kumar and Mr. B.K. Prasad, our Bengaluru chapter chair and former chair, and of course, co-convener of the technical committee, Mr. B.O. Prasanna Kumar. So we have the stall awards in stalls of two sizes. So stall size up to 24 square meters and stall size above 24 square meters. And we have winners and you could say runners up, but it is basically category 2 and category 1. So category 2 would be receiving the runners up award and category 1 would be receiving the winner award. And we have multiple runners up and multiple winners. So we will start with the stall size up to 24 square meters. And as I invite the winners in these categories, I request them to please come up and collect their award from the NEB and the other invited dignitaries on the stage. So stall size up to 24 square meters, category 2, that is the runners up. We have 3 of them. Please put your hands together as we invite Shell India Private Limited. Shell India Private Limited, stall size up to 24 square meters. The best stall awards right here at Plumbex India 2023. Do we have anybody from Shell India Private Limited? Please do come up and collect your award from the dignitaries. The next in category 2, that is the runners-up category, is Pipeco Tanks Malaysia. So Pipeco Tanks, you could also be ready. Immediately after this, we will have the presentation to Pipeco Tanks Malaysia. Well done, Shell India. If there's nobody from Pipeco Tanks Malaysia, The third in this category, that is category 2 of stall size up to square meters, near drains solutions. Near drains solutions. Requesting you to please come up. Please, can we have an applause for near drains solution in the stall size up to 24 square meters. Now moving to category 1, which is the winner category in stall size up to 24 square meters. Once again, lucky number is 3. We have 3 in category 1. Please put your hands together first for Alpha Blowers. Alpha Blowers in category 1, the winners for stall size up to 24 square meters. Well done, Alpha Blowers. Our second winner, Sarah Sanitary Ware Limited. Well done, Sarah, as they come up. And the third winner in category 1, Valveco International, Quinn Walls. Congratulations to all. Thank you, Sarah. Please put your hands together for Valveco International, Quinn Walls as they come up to collect their award. We now move to stall size about 24 square meters. While in the below 24 square meters, 3 was the lucky number. Here, 7 is the lucky number. So in category 2, we have 7. In category 1, we have 7. So starting with category 2, about 24 square meters. Daiki Access India, Sukruta Agencies. Can we hear it for Daiki Access India, Sukruta Agencies? Well done, KP. Next winner in category 2, Global Water Solutions. Congratulations, Global Water Solutions. So Global Water Solutions comes up on stage. Maybe we can come up on the stage from the right side and get off from the left side. So it'll be a good sequence to follow. Thank you. The next in category 2 is Pure Ever or Rhinox. Pure Ever or Rhinox, the next winner in category 2. A round of applause for Pure Ever Rhinox. The next winner in this category, KSB Limited. Can we have KSB Limited ready on the... Okay, whichever side you ascend from, please descend from the opposite side. Continuing in category 2, stall size about 24 square meters. The next name of the winner, Sloan India Private Limited. Congratulations, Sloan India Private Limited. So as soon as KSB finish their photograph, we will have Sloan India Private Limited. The music can continue, no problem. Well done, Sloan. Staying in category 2, stall size about 24 square meters. After Sloan, the next winner is Cantherm. Cantherm, the winner in about 24 square meter category 2. And the final winner in category 2, stall size about 24 square meters, True Flow by Hindware. The True Flow stall by Hindware, the next winner and the final winner in category 2. Can we have True Flow on stage to collect their award? Well done, Hindware. Please go up, sir. Now moving on to the 7 in category 1. They take home the gold here at Plumbex India 2023. In category 1, the first winner, Ashirwad Pipes Private Limited. Well done, Ashirwad Pipes. The next winner in category 1, Bradford White. After Ashirwad, Bradford White to please come up and collect their award. Category 1 winner in stall size about 24 square meters. Congratulations, Bradford. The next winner in category 1, 5 Bro Water Services Private Limited, Penta Aqua. 5 Bro. Well done, 5 Bro. Our next winner in category 1, Kirloskar Brothers Limited. Kirloskar Brothers Limited, category 1 winners in stall size about 24 square meter. Well done, Kirloskar Brothers. Next winner, category 1, Viega India Innovative Technologies Private Limited. Do we have anybody from Viega? Viega India Innovative Technologies, can we have you on stage, please? Okay, we move to the next. Vijay Cycle and Steel Industries. Vijay Cycle and Steel Industries, The next winner in category 1, stall size about 24 square meters. Well done, Vijay Cycle and Steel Industries. And the final winner in category 1, stall size about 24 square meters, WaterTech India Private Limited. So it's like a rolling trophy for WaterTech. Ramesh Baliga coming up. Anybody from Viega has come? Or we'll send it to their stall. So congratulations to the category 2, category 1 winners in both below 24 square meters and above 24 square meters. It's now time to recognize the committee members responsible for Plumbex India. And these are the committee members from the IPA Bengaluru chapter. So I request the NEB members to be there. A couple of them are already there from the organizing committee, but gives me immense pleasure, and you need to applaud this committee for putting together this wonderful show, Plumbex India 2023. Please put your hands together first for Chetan Joyce, Secretary, IPA Bengaluru chapter. Can we have Chetan come up and collect his memento? Chetan, Satish, Amit. Thank you, Chetan, for the wonderful organization. Can we have the trophy going up, please? Madam, you can take it up. Yes, please take it up. Yeah. चेतन का चेतन को ही मिलेगा, don't worry. Next applause for Satish Iyengar, Joint Secretary, IPA Bengaluru chapter. Our next committee to be applauded, Satish Iyengar. Next up, Mr. Amit Gupta, Treasurer, IPA Bengaluru. Okay, Amit Gupta is not here. So we will move on to the next. Mr. M. Prasad, EC member of IPA Bengaluru. I think the Bengaluru chapter can remain on stage and we can have a group photo. Do we have Mr. M. Prasad from IPA Bengaluru? No, okay, he's not there. Okay, Umar Shankar C, EC member from IPA Bengaluru. Okay, we don't have Umar Shankar. Okay, a round of applause for Mr. Shashikant Pobati, Student Chapter Chairman and EC member of IPA Bengaluru. Shashikant Pobati, please. A round of applause for our organizing chair and all the good food we have been enjoying. He's been overseeing the catering as well. Our next, whoa, Satish, it's not juggling time yet. Okay, hands together for KP, Krishna Prasad, EC member, IPA Bengaluru, making it a habit to come on stage. The next applause for our NEC member and former chapter chair, Mr. B.O. Prasanna Kumar, the co-convener of the technical committee from IPA, Bengaluru. Bengaluru Kishan. We have one more NEC member from the IPA Bengaluru chapter. Please put your hands together for Mr. Balakrishna Mehta. Mr. Balakrishna Mehta from IPA Bengaluru, an NEC member, part of the committee of Plumbex India 2023. And ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of IPA Bengaluru, the man behind Plumbex India 2023, Mr. BK Prasad. BKP, on you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the committee, the IPA Bengaluru chapter. And I think I made my start with the IPC in 2011.
I think let's give them a standing ovation.
Yes,
They've done a wonderful job. All the stall holders are very happy with Plumbex, and they have beaten all records of Plumbex till today. Thank you very much.
Well done, record-breaking committee. And I'm also going to steal a snap here because I'm part of IPA Bengaluru. So we have M. Prasad and Uma Shankar from IPA Bengaluru joining us. So we missed them earlier because they were busy at the stalls. Also welcome to Mr. Amit Gupta. So I think the full strength is here. Amit ji, please collect your recognition. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the curtains go down on Plumbex India 2023, a great show put up by IPA and, of course, by IPA, the Bengaluru chapter. Looking forward to meeting all of you at the next IPC, which will be the Indian Plumbing Conference brought by the Indian Plumbing Association. Have a great weekend. Okay, our chair wants to say a few words.
On this August occasion, I'd like to thank the headquarters staff and also our most loved MC, Ms. Samir Haryani, will receive a memento from our president, Mr. Gurmeet Singh. Dr. Samir Haryani, sorry, I correct myself. Dr. Yeah, once again, HQ staff, without your support, it would have been not possible at all. Thank you, thank you. Bhimarao, Sushant, Nivedita and Santosh, Yogendra, और Dipankar, Rohit, yep. Thank you.
नाम चेंज करा के मेरा हमेशा भूल जाता है बैच भी भूल जाता है ये देख हरियाली बना दिया मुझे कबाब बना दिया मुझे कबाब
फोटो तो करा लीजिए इसका एटलीस्ट बुला के